Hi, I'm Ellie McGuire, and this is the Shakin' the Bushes podcast. Today's guest, oh my God, I fell in love with her when she said, my grandfather used to say, be careful when you're playing upstairs in the attic. Don't put your foot through the Renoir. The Renoir? This woman has stories. You have to tune in. Jody Fazzano.
Ellie McGuire.
As I live and breathe,
Yep.
You are now sitting at my little kitchen table in my childhood home. I have been wanting to play with you for so long.
And I am thrilled to be here, Ellie.
Yes,
Yay.
yes. So, do you remember how we met?
I most certainly do. I remember returning from a trip with my
Yeah.
husband, and I heard this wonderful piano music in the airport. And it lured me. I wanted to see and hear right up close and personal. And lo and behold, there was Ron.
Ron being my forever fiance who plays at the TF Green Airport. And that's how you met him.
Right. And I took his card and I called you that following week and asked if Ron would be willing to play the piano at our annual picnic that Joe and I have. Do you remember?
I remember because wherever Ron goes, I follow.
I gotcha.
So I got to go to the picnic too.
Right.
And I've been to 3 of these picnics. First of all, before we even delve
Yeah,
into this
okay.
more, the reason I fell in love with you and Joe is I went to this picnic not knowing what to expect. And there was the most amazing spread of food. It was like a gourmet restaurant, a picnic, you know,
Right.
in the middle of August. And it was under a tree, I remember, in the park.
Yes.
And then you had veggie burgers.
You bet.
I was like, I love these people. Veggie burgers.
Something
Who has
for
veggie
everyone.
burgers in a picnic.
Something
That's
for
when I fell in
everyone.
love with you guys.
Yeah.
So then, so where were we there? So Ron and I go to this picnic.
You're right.
But you have great food. And the second thing you had was your friends are all fabulous musicians.
I know.
So Ron just got his piano out and joined these
I
guys.
know. It was heaven.
But guess what? They played music that I was like, I haven't heard that music since I was in college.
Oh,
You
or
know,
high school even.
Yeah, high school. And everyone was dancing on the grass. It was a
Yes.
blast. But my favorite song, I think this was year 3, was I remember looking, I was talking to someone and I had to stop in the middle of the conversation because I heard, I just walked in to see what condition my condition was in. Kenny Rogers. Who plays Kenny Rogers
I
anymore?
know.
It was a
Oh.
blast. So I am a big fan of Joe and Jody, who have this fabulous picnic in the park in the middle of August and have great music and great food.
Every year.
But here's what really sealed the deal, why I
Oh.
had to get to know you better.
Okay.
I'm talking to a gal, you know, you talk to people.
Yep.
I have a tendency in parties. I guess I should tell my secret. I talk a little bit, I move. I talk a little bit, I move. I'm not a hanger-on. Maybe
too.
that's just my style. But anyway, this very tall, pretty woman was talking to me and talking about her, I don't know, experiences in life. And she talked about her father. And she seemed quite smitten with her father, who I think had passed away. But we were talking about sailing. This woman wanders over, and let me explain to people what you had on. You had on, I remember, a white, this third year, you had a white dress on, little, kind of almost a mini dress, with purple or like, what color boots are those?
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia. Thank you
Pink.
very much, darling. Fuchsia sparkly boots, and there's all this sparkly jewelry, and it was an effing picnic.
I know.
And I said, this girl.
Right.
I'm talking to this lady, lanky lady, very much taller than me. And you and I are both on the shorter side. So you come waltzing over and we're talking about sailing and you went and you could have flipped your hair and said, oh, well, I've sailed from Rhode Island to the Bermuda. And I'm like, Bermuda? And I'm thinking to myself, I've sailed from Newport down to the Bahamas, lived on a sailboat for 6 months. That's another whole episode.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm thinking, Bermuda, you can't even stop for a 7-Eleven for
No.
coffee.
No.
I mean, there's nothing between
No.
Rhode Island and Bermuda.
That's right.
And I want to get back to that, but I still have to just go on. So that's one.
Yep.
And then number two was this woman is still talking about her dad. And you go by again, you just kind of, you're like little Cinderella, go by again.
Sprinkle. Yep.
And you talk about, she goes, oh, my dad, and finish that line. My dad was, I think we were talking about art.
Oh, my dad grew up in a house where his grandfather collected artwork. As a child, my brother and I would play hide and seek on the third floor of, my granddad's house.
Right.
And I actually I hid behind this big canvas painting and I had no idea. I mean, it could have been finger paints for all I know.
You're a kid.
But then my grandfather said, be careful not to put your foot through the Renoir. And I said, is that an important person in art? What do I know? I was a little kid.
Oh my God. But it came up in the picnic. She was talking art. And then you said something about the Renoir in the attic. And I'm like, who is this person?
Oh.
And then the trifecta was, or the hat trick, as we say in
Right.
hockey.
I love that.
Is you said about your dad and what he used to do, what he did at one time, because it was related to art. So art was a big thing in your family.
Right. And Dad was president of Rhode Island School of Design. And the whole family, Fazzano family, donated their artwork to RISD's museum.
Okay, but just president of RISD.
Yeah.
First of all, Rhode Island School of Design
Yes.
is the premier school in the country.
Right.
And it just so happens to be in Little Rhodey.
Yes.
But it's just wonderful. And I know Martha Stewart, darling,
That's
she only
right.
hires people who have graduated from
Of
RISD.
course.
And then you got Seth MacFarlane, and I'm sure you got a lot of fancy smancy artists too.
Oh,
But
yes.
my pea brain, I can't list them all.
I know.
But your dad was president of
Yes.
RISD for a time.
Yes, he
And
was.
that is huge. And the Renoir in the attic, I mean, unbelievable. So let's go back to the Renoir in the attic, though. So your grandfather and then your father,
my dad and all his brothers.
they all collected art.
Yes.
But now I collect art, and I remember getting an art piece on a piece of cardboard that that used to come in the dry cleaner shirts, the
Oh,
men's
yes.
shirts, and he did like a stick figure, and I thought, well, there's something to that, and I paid money for that.
That's art. Yep.
But you had a Renoir. I mean, so so you've donated all of them, so they're not in
All
the
of the
family.
artwork is at
So they
RISD now.
didn't think a little Jody.
I often have said that. Oh my goodness, Ellie, I think just one painting I would have been grateful for.
I don't get this.
Ugh.
So I don't get, and I don't even know you well enough to know your wealth and the status, and it's none of my business. But just one little painting,
I would have been happy.
oh my God! But they donated it for the world to see at RISD, right?
Of course.
Have you ever gone and visited them?
No, I went once when they had the first exhibit, but I have not been back.
I don't
since.
blame you, because I'd be like,
Why isn't that in my house?
Well, how many children in your family when you were growing up?
Just my family.
Yeah.
3 of us.
So so just 3 little paintings,
Right.
Oh my flip!
I know.
Actually, I have an interesting story. So Ron, my forever
Yes.
fiance,
Yes.
his children grew up a lot in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Okay.
And when we went down to his lovely daughter Allie's wedding, one of her weddings, she the in-laws of her mother who remarried.
Yes.
Are you following that? Do that? So the mother remarried in Chapel
Yes.
Hill. So the kids lived there. But we went, and the breakfast was at her in-laws' house.
Okay.
Okay. And I walked in, and here's a Chapel Hill house, but it looked like New York. It was very minimalist.
Oh.
And in the corner was a Picasso.
Get out.
And I guess the father,
Oh.
so it'd be his ex-wife's father-in-law,
Right.
used to go drinking with Picasso or
Oh.
something. There was something, or he did a doodle on
Well,
a napkin,
Got it.
like in France or something like
Yes.
that. Like a noodle doodle. Like it was just
From
an ink
Picasso?
drawing. Yeah, from Picasso.
Ooh.
So we know they did very well.
I
But
see.
I'm just thinking Renoir in the attic. So I had to meet you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that W-2 forms mean anything in life, but still, that would have been cool. So,
Right.
oh my God, don't put your foot through okay, so that's a good information today. Don't put your foot through a Renoir.
No, don't do that.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Number one.
Okay.
Okay. So number two was what threw me off was the your father doing the RISD thing, and then the Bermuda trip.
Oh, yes.
And how did that come about?
Well, I sailed all my life. In fact, I think the earliest I sailed was maybe 8 years old.
Wow.
And I sailed in weekly regattas at 2 yacht clubs in Rhode Island,
Right.
East Greenwich and Edgewood Yacht Club.
Edgewood.
Of course.
Wow.
Rhode.
Yes. Okay.
And I would sail, always the crew for someone else. And I loved it. And I was a good crew. I don't mind telling you that. Yeah. I'd bail like the
If
best
you were
of them.
so far away, I'd pat you on the back. But anyway, so you
Yeah.
crewed.
And I was asked by a kid I grew up with. He said, "All right, let's go, Jode. You want to come with me to Bermuda?" I said, "I'll give it a try." Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Sure. And I always say, feel the fear, but do it anyway.
Wow, feel the fear. I love that.
Do
But you
it
know, I think
anywhere.
as when we're younger, we're much less afraid.
Right.
I started sailing because the guy was dating
Oh,
sailed.
well, of course you did then.
And then I married him for 2 years, and
Uh-huh.
and we took a sailboat. I inherited a little money, so I didn't have a Renoir, but I had an uncle that left money when he died, and so I bought a sailboat
Good.
because my husband liked to sail. So
That's right. Of course you did
I didn't
that.
buy a sewing machine, and I like to sew.
But no.
I bought a sailboat at 36 for Columbia, and we
I
sailed.
sailed on that
There you
kind
go.
of.
See,
same
you know what's
thing.
interesting about in Rhode Island? You know boats like you know cars.
That's right.
you
you
know
do.
brands. You do.
Yes.
So anyway, so I sailed from Newport to the Bahamas with my husband, now
Mm-hmm.
ex, and ended up living on the boat for 6 months, but
Wow.
then met Dan Rowan from Rowan and Martin's Laughing and his girlfriend.
Wow.
And of course, I knew how to lure him over. I asked him to take a picture of us. And then I said, "Oh, and can we take a picture of you?" And one thing led to another.
Of course.
And we ended up living in his house for like a couple of months.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
It's also in my memoir, which when it's released, you'll be able to read about. But
Can't wait.
just funny circumstances like
Yes.
that. But so I love to sail, but I also think I'd love to do everything that my exes love to do.
Oh.
The next ex played golf.
Oh,
And
wow.
I became quite the golfer.
Really?
I belonged as a kid to Warwick Country Club.
Oh, did you?
But never played a lot of golf because, God, we'd go on a Sunday at 90 degrees with my fighting
Right.
parents
Yep.
and my brother that didn't want to be there. And my mother'd be off chasing a butterfly, and my father would be cursing because he duffed it,
Yeah.
And it was a horrible experience.
Gotcha.
But when he started playing golf, I thought, you're not leaving me
Right.
while you go out and play.
Right.
But then it got me a job at the Capitol Center where they had the Capitals hockey and the
Oh.
Bullets basketball. So I guess in a way,
Yes.
all things lead to
Right.
something else.
There was a gift
But
in it.
what guy took up sewing? What guy
Oh,
takes
never.
up what the
They
woman
never
does?
do.
Did
Never.
you sew when you were younger?
I did. I took sewing lessons even.
I made
Right. I made a dress. Oh, and now I look
dress.
back, one dress, and I regret making it. It was horrible.
Okay.
Okay. It looked like a
I made
tablecloth.
men's shirts. I made suits for
Wow.
myself. I made all my
You
prom
did.
dresses. I did all this stuff.
Oh.
So I really got into it, but I gave it up. It's funny how we have all these talents and you kind of give it up to go get a career or whatever.
Oh, I know.
But I think we're starting to get back to that. But I'm going sideways. Let's go back to
Okay.
meeting you.
Okay.
How could I resist this woman with the fuchsia boots?
Yes. Well,
And the dad that's a RISD. So did you and your dad get along well?
oh, Dad and I were close as close can be
Wow.
until he died at 98.
98?
98.
Just
Yeah.
close to 100, huh?
Yep. He wanted to make it to 100, but he didn't.
Oh.
But it was a great life. And to
Yeah.
be part of it for so long was a gift.
Oh, wow. I don't know. As a girl, we love our dads,
Yes.
My father,
Yeah.
he was an interesting character. And that's why we belonged to the Warwick Country Club. I think my
Oh.
grandfather was in the jewelry business. So
Oh.
there were 3 boys in the family.
Yes.
But the 3 boys, they all inherited the business. They all got the
I
business.
see.
And my mom, I don't know, she was a nurse and she was a World War II, went
Right.
to war and all that. And none of the boys did. I think she's just like the most amazing woman.
Yes.
And yet she married the refrigeration repair guy. Now he did refrigeration for like places like Hasbro.
Right.
And the
Companies.
Warwick Country
Right,
Club and
right.
Twin Oaks and different places like that. I got to go along sometimes. It was
Uh-huh.
wonderful. But but I do still think that being a woman in those
Oh.
days, you did not get to be a part of the business. So you just kind of got the after effects. So I think she was always feeling less important than her
Right.
brothers. So, my grandfather always gave a car to her, a new car. We had a new car in the
Sure.
driveway, but my dad, who also had a drinking problem
Gotcha.
and also had another family, I found out later in life.
Which blows my mind.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
So I can understand why she'd be a little depressed at times. But anyway, but we never lived richly,
Yep.
but we lived lovingly. But I
Aw.
think as she got older, she got more and more despondent about her life.
Yes.
She went to war and now she's sitting around
I know.
mopping the floor.
Well, Ellie, think about it. When I was growing up in high school, there were so many. Well, there were a few choices for women. You can be a nurse, a teacher, or a secretary.
Do not get me
no,
started.
thank you.
I love the story about Barbara Streisand. She grew her nails long just so she couldn't be a secretary.
Oh, I didn't know
what was
that.
it, Katie Gibbs?
Yeah,
Women went to Katie
you
Gibbs.
had to go to Katie Gibbs.
And
Yep.
how ridiculous. I remember I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I'm down at Bonnet
Oh.
Shores, which is a beach community
Yes.
in Rhode Island. And I'm down there. My mom was there, and she was, this sounds weird, entertaining a priest, but it was just like
I
he was coming to
understand.
dinner.
Yes.
She wasn't that bad. But anyway, he was down, and I said, I want to be a veterinarian because I loved animals.
Oh.
And they patted me on my head and just said, that's so sweet. I was in 7th grade, and I'll never forget that. And my dream of being a veterinarian, I was so embarrassed by that. My dreams were dashed. And then I go to my guidance counselor at school, high
Yes.
school, and I swear I could have been the guidance counselor.
Right.
Oh my God, they were clueless.
I
And-
understand.
And she looked at me, and I had really good grades. And my grandfather, who had done very well, said,
Yes.
I'll buy you a car, or you can go to
Oh.
college. Like you can go sleep over at college. I took the car, and then
I love it.
And then I went to Rhode Island College, but then I couldn't stand it anymore, so I ran off and lived there. But I
Yep.
changed the rules. But I just can't get over the fact that I was good at maybe a nurse.
Yep.
I hated blood. That was
Me
out.
too.
Teaching. Well, in my life now, I forgot to have kids, but I love kids. But I did 2 years of early childhood. I had 4, 5, and 6-year-old.
Me too.
40 of them
Oh my
for
God.
2 years. That's probably why I bought a sailboat and took off.
I love it.
But a nurse or a teacher, that's what you did it.
That's right.
And I think about it because they were jobs that men didn't take. Men went off to do other things, and they had a
please.
secretary and who
They
helped
have
them.
people work for them.
Yeah, and then they come home, darling, and
Yeah,
then
and
they're
you-
like,
Mhm.
they come home and then they don't want to talk to their wives because they're exhausted
Right,
from talking
exactly,
all day.
right.
And the wife has just had changed 18 diapers, and
Or
all she
just-
wants.
Right. And just all day doing errands or whatever. And
No, it's
No,
just,
it's
it
not
just. But I
fulfilling.
think we've changed it, and I went right from that coming back from sailing to a job at PRO, and then I went down and followed a man. That's another story, and went to DC and got into
Yes.
sports. And so my life has been. I've created that life, but I think I broke a few ceilings, glass ceilings.
I must tell you, I said when I was a senior in high school, I want a job in television.
Really?
Oh, aren't you cute? And my mother
Why are we
said,
always cute?
Why don't you think about a real job? I said, it is a real job. No, it isn't. So it took me a while to find my way into television. But
So you
I
were,
sure as heck did.
wow. So what
Yeah.
did you do in television?
Well, first I was a promotion in the promotion department
Right.
at Channel 10, and I would write little
yeah, sure.
break things,
Right.
voiceover
Promotional,
stuff.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I said, I want to work in news. I love news. So there was an opening at one of the stations. I think it was Channel 12.
Okay.
I had no experience in news. I went and I said, I have no experience in news, but I'll bet I'll be the best producer you ever had. Give me 3 months. 3. And I promise you, I will be the best producer.
OMG, I love that.
Yes.
And
but
so what happened?
I did it. I did it. They
Wow.
took a chance on me, and
So you produced news.
oh yeah,
Wow.
I did. And you know who taught me everything? Walter Cryan, the great
Wow,
anchor who's been around for a long
yes.
time. Yes.
Now, did you know a guy named Hank Yagi? No, Does
No.
That name?
Oh.
He ran PRI. I guess WPRI. All the names.
oh,
these
they
letters will
changed. I
change all
know.
the time.
Right.
But that's crazy. And But I'll tell you that story another time.
Another time.
But so you were in news. That's great.
Yeah.
And didn't you? I think in this picnic, something came up about you were in a game show or
Yes. Oh, Ellie. I was on the $25,000 pyramid, the nighttime version of the
the
10,000.
nighttime.
Yes, with Bill Cullen as the host.
Bill Cullen. Yes.
Yes, and my partner was Nipsey Russell, the best game show guy on the planet.
Nipsey Russell.
And honest to goodness, in less than a minute, I won more than I earned in a year.
May I ask how much you won?
I won $10,000 in the first round, and that was more than I earned that year. It was 1975.
Wow.
And then I won the next round $400. So it was unbelievable. I thought I was floating.
And how did you know? Like, not everybody gets on a game show. Like,
Right.
what did you do to get on the game?
Well,
like,
I called
was there a
ABC.
Contest?
I picked up the phone and called ABC, and this is back in the day where people answered the phone. Don't push one for this, two, that, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this person on the other end of the phone told me that I needed to attend a taping of the show. And if you have good luck, they'll call your name after the show. Well, everyone fills out the card with their name. And after the show, I got called to go for an interview. Now, the day of the interview, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be easy. Yeah. I walk in, there are 1,000 people. 1,000 people.
1,000 people all
Yes.
lined up, you mean?
Yeah. And I said, I was determined I was going to stay until I had my interview. And it was 8 o'clock at night, from 9 in the morning till 8 at night, but I was not giving up. No. And lo and behold, they said, don't call us, we'll call you. And about 2 weeks later, I was working and I had told the woman who answers the phone, pay attention. If I get a call, ask it's from New York, who it is, and come find me. And she did.
Boy, the generation now, like, you had to wait for what? You had to have somebody? That's
Right.
crazy. And that is always my big beef. This is like I'm on a crusade. I'm going to go picket the
Yeah.
lines of variety. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yes,
mention
I
names.
know.
But the phones, everybody's on the phone. And if you were on the phone, you can't meet people. I
No.
met so many wonderful people because I wasn't on the flipping phone. So
Exactly.
you're doing a dial phone going, hello.
Hello. How can I get on that show?
Wow. And you did it.
I did.
You did it.
I did.
Wow. And did they love you forever?
They loved me, and then they hired me to be a fake contestant on pilot game shows.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So you did a game show,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
you being Jody,
Yeah.
they couldn't just have you on a game show.
What? They
They-
wanted me to be a fake contestant so they could sell these game shows to the networks.
Because of your effervescence and your
well,
energy.
They said my enthusiasm was a little over the top. And I said, you want me to take it down a little? Oh, no. So I gave him my best show.
So was this in New York that they were
Yes.
doing this?
Yes.
So did you live in New York?
Actually, at the time, I was living in Connecticut, and I would just take the train in.
You were living in Connecticut.
Connecticut, not in a fancy place,
Oh,
mind
okay.
you. No.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was great. I did live in New York, however, in the 70s. I lived in Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
and I loved it.
Brooklyn now is the hottest place to be.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I just, excuse me for a minute, but I just had to, I have my dog. She's getting older and she sometimes doesn't know where the bed is. So I kind of
It's
have
nice
to.
that you do
so
that.
She's a Yorkshire Terrier.
Oh.
She was also very famous, Schmitty the weather dog. She's been on the Ellen show. There's
Oh,
lots
my
of things. I mean,
goodness.
yes, we are in the
Oh.
presence of greatness.
And does
Four-legged greatness.
is there an agent involved?
Oh, she's had both my dogs have had agents. Oh, my other dog, Pudge, she was in a Ralph Lauren full page ad in the New York Times Sunday edition.
No way.
Somebody called me up and said, I think your dog's in the paper. And she had a little Ralph Lauren with the little horse on her back.
Oh.
And oh my God! And in fact, the owner of the New York Times wife framed it and sent it to me.
Oh,
It was the
I
most
love
wonderful thing.
that.
But so anyway, so when she comes in the room,
yes,
I have to get up and accommodate her.
of course you do.
So now she'll go to her bed and she will sleep.
Sleep.
But anyway,
Mhm.
so back to the game show. You are crazy. This is why I had to have you on the show, because the energy level, I think between the two of us, maybe Manhattan could be lit without.
It could be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
bright lights.
But
There
anyway,
we
so
are.
you lived in Brooklyn. Now, who
Yes.
did you live in Brooklyn? Were you by yourself? Or were you...
Husband number one.
Okay, husband number one. Are
Yes.
there husband numbers more?
Just the current husband number 2.
Oh, okay.
However,
Uh-huh.
there could have been a husband number 3, but I didn't marry the guy.
Uh-huh.
But I had a child with him.
Oh, you did?
I did.
So you
I
have
did.
a kid? Oh, okay.
Yes.
And what's his name?
Woody.
Woody. Woody.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of the Toy Story or
No, it wasn't out yet. No, but I just loved the name. So I used to
Wow.
call him Woody when he was inside of me, kicking around.
Woody.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And is Woody live near here? Or?
Woody lives in Newport with his wife. They are newly married since May.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
And I have grandparent envy, Ellie. I want to be a grandmother. So I'm
Really?
trying to bite my tongue and not say anything
uh-huh.
to them and hope and hope and hope and hope that one day there'll be a grandbaby for me.
See, I inherited children
Right.
and grandchildren from Ron. He has a
Right.
wonderful daughter, Allie, and a son. So anyway, one lives in Atlanta, Georgia,
Wow.
Nick, and the other one, Allie, lives in not Nashville, Knoxville,
Okay.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
So we don't see them as much, but when we do, and we keep in touch and all that stuff. But so I'm very lucky because I inherited.
Yes, you did.
Now, see, I am adopted, and I say this
Okay.
interesting. I couldn't say this for the longest time, and now I'm almost a little proud of it. Maybe, I don't know, proud is a different
Yeah.
word, but before, adoption was like, oh my God, that meant
Right.
you were kind of a bastard child or
Right.
something, you know?
It was
And
not, it was frowned upon.
Now Angelina Jolie and everybody has
Everybody
kids.
adopts. Right.
So anyway, but that said, I always think that I was too scared to have kids. I think I didn't know I didn't know how to have a family because I had a brother. I have a brother, Michael, and he passed away.
Yeah.
But he had addictions and he had
Ooh.
some mental health issues
Yes.
and he committed suicide.
Oh.
So it seems like everybody in a family has kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And I always thought, maybe I'm just not the family type.
I got you.
So,
But you inherited.
I inherited. So I'm very blessed that. And I've got a great guy.
Yes,
It
you
took
do.
me a lot of tries, but I got a
Oh!
great guy.
Oh
And now
my
he's doing the
God.
lighting, by the
Oh,
way.
Please.
You know, it's funny when you walked in and you said, Ron, the 3-time world champion ragtime piano player
Yeah.
is behind the scenes, behind
right.
doing this. How nice of you, Ron. And I go, no, Jody. I saved his life.
Okay.
And this is payback. And that's for a whole
That's
nother
another
story.
story.
Exactly.
Right.
You're going to have to come back a lot. But anyway, so where were we? We were talking, I was talking about adoption and kids and you
Yes.
want grandkids and all that. But so you did all of these things. Do you ever feel like you're 100?
No, I feel like I'm younger than ever. And here's the thing. You know how people will say, oh, someday I want to do this or I want to do that.
Mhm.
I act on what I want to do. I decide,
Me
okay,
too. Me too.
nothing is stopping me except me. So I don't want to stop myself. I'll try anything.
Isn't that funny? And the thing is, as I get older, hey, we're
Oh.
sitting in my childhood home doing a podcast.
Right.
I mean, how many people do that?
Mm.
And it's like, I don't feel old at all.
No.
I still run 3 miles a day. I still do things. And I
That's
don't,
so
I think when you
interesting.
set barriers,
Yes.
you start to believe them.
I agree.
So now, and you know, and chicks. I dig chicks. Chicks are my thing. You
Yeah,
are
yeah,
adorable. I'm
yeah.
adorable.
Right.
But like you made a comment about, I have long hair. For those listening, I have long hair.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I remember I was sitting in St. Peter's Church once for some
Yes.
function, and this woman was the mother of someone I went to elementary school
Okay.
with. She walks up and she has gray hair, but it was down to her butt.
Oh,
And I think everybody
wow.
was the little titta
Oh.
because in those days you
Oh,
didn't
no.
have long
No,
hair. You
not-
must be
when
like
we're
a crazy.
older.
You
Yeah,
must live in
right.
a cabin and be crazy, and
Absolutely.
you fish out of the icy pond and stuff like that.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But anyway, I just don't go by the rules. I don't go by the
don't
rules
either.
health wise. I don't go by the
No.
rules age wise.
No.
And so now I'm doing a podcast. So my friends, some of my friends,
yes.
that's a whole nother episode to do.
Right.
But girlfriends, it's tough. Girlfriends are always tough. I think
yes.
friendship is a
can
work.
I tell you, hard work.
Hard work.
Hard work.
And sometimes I think when I was younger, maybe I didn't show up as much. I didn't do things that I should have. But and now I'm such a loyal friend. But now my friends, some of them have kind of, I'm going to use the word ditch, but some of them have kind of disappeared from my life.
Moved on.
Maybe moved on. They've got kids, grandkids. And that's the last thing I want to do is
Right.
give up my life for,
No. And it's not necessary to
No.
have it work that way.
No.
And really, I can count on one hand the
Right.
true friends I have.
Right.
You're on my hand.
Oh, yay! I
I'm just
made it!
telling
I
you.
made it!
Woo!
You know, I just, from the moment I met you, you know how things click? I
Yes.
think, you know, if you see a
Yeah.
guy you like, or if, I don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever.
Whatever.
You see someone, all of a sudden it clicks. But you, once again, I think it was those
Oh.
fuchsia boots.
I'm telling you.
And then you came over and it was the veggie burger and you had me. You had me at veggie burger.
I love that.
And but the thing is that I started watching when I turned another decade.
Yes.
People can guess which one it is. You know, women can't mention the age.
Oh, I hate that.
Clint Eastwood at 94.
I'll tell you how old I
He's
am.
directing a movie. You know?
Right. I'm 73 and I got more living to do.
Well,
so do
there you go. Yeah, I know. You're just a few years older than me. But the thing is,
Yeah.
I had the worst year when I turned 70. I'll be honest. I made it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I don't know why, but I just was in a little bit of a panic mode. I was wondering where my life's going. Where I think I was having a little anxiety attack. But I think the biggest culprit,
Yes.
Sex and the City.
Oh, my.
I started watching reruns.
Oh.
I got sciatica. I hate when people talk
Oh.
about their illness, but I got and it was the biggest pain. I fell when I was running
Oh.
and I got sciatica and I couldn't move for like 8 weeks.
So you had to watch TV.
So
What
I
did
was
you
watching
do?
TV last winter and I watched Sex and the City.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I wanted a girlfriend that I could call up and go, let's go to breakfast.
Right.
Let's go to lunch.
What are you doing
Let's
now?
go for a drink. Let's go do this.
Yeah.
And there was no one around
I
like
know
that.
the
And I
feeling.
started to feel lonely.
Yes.
And I'm a very outgoing person,
Yes,
so
you
are
are.
you.
Right.
But loneliness can happen at any time. So I was just like, wait a minute, in the TV show, they all get together.
I know.
And when we were in college, we all got together. And when you're in
Right.
school, you get together.
Right.
But all of a sudden, you start having a life.
Right.
And you split. So I have a very good friend who lives in Swampscott, Mass, but
Yes.
she's got kids and now she's got grandkids.
Right.
I have a friend who lives in Rhode Island and she's kind of ditched me because I think she doesn't have time. She needs to spend time with her kids and grandkids. She kind of told me that and I was very hurt by it,
I
but
would have been.
I'm moving on.
Right.
I'm
exactly.
moving on.
You know what?
I have 5 fingers and she's not on one of
She's
them
not
now.
on one of them.
But you just took that one.
Are
There you
good.
go. There you
So,
go.
I
But-
love that.
And then I have other friends. I just got together with 3 college girlfriends.
Right. Forever you've had friends.
And this is the funniest
Yes.
thing. I haven't seen them maybe in 20
Oh,
years.
I love that.
But we went to this little place in East Providence. Like, I don't know anything because, I live in New York City. Too,
Yeah, right.
So that's what my podcast is all about,
Right.
living in New York City and living in Rhode Island. Crazy comparison, but
Yes.
actually a lot really different, but very much
That's
the
the
same.
same.
So I meet these girlfriends at this diner in East Providence. We met at 12 o'clock. I was actually on time, which is a good thing for me.
Don't tell me how long you were together.
We were there at 5 o'clock. They were serving dinners. And and I don't drink a lot. They had a couple of them
Yeah.
had drinks, but that was the one thing. I was always in college. I was the one who didn't drink, and they all drank. And I even worked at the Rathskeller on Rhode Island College.
I
And
do
my
know that place.
my tips were marijuana butts. I don't know what do you call the end of
roaches.
roaches. I don't know.
Yeah, if I recall correctly.
Ron's laughing back there. So I wasn't my parents were so wacky. I was very blessed to have a home. That's the way I look at it, but they were wacky. So I did everything the opposite. So I was the good
Wow.
little kid.
That's interesting because in my house,
Yeah.
my mother was the drunk, and my brother and sister did not want to be anything like them. I'll drink to match her. Oh, yeah, maybe we'll be friends. I don't know. And I love drinking. I could
Wow.
match anybody. And I
Wow.
could drink grown men under the table. I have
Wow.
a reputation for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I went the opposite. So here I am. Imagine this. I had a little apron on and I'm at the Rathskeller and the guys thought I was cute. And
Yeah.
they'd give me roaches. Is that what you call it? Marijuana butts, I call them.
Yeah.
And I would come home and I found out at this lunch just recently,
Oh,
they were all like, what time does Ellie get off of work? And I'm like, why is everybody so excited to see me? It's because I was bringing home the roaches butts.
oh, I got it. Oh, man, you didn't even know.
I was popular and I didn't know why.
I love
because
it.
of like Ellie's gonna have. So I brought
Oh,
the
yeah.
supply home. I didn't know. I didn't eat them. I threw them on the table, and in the morning they were gone.
Oh,
you know?
you bet your ass they were. Oh, yeah.
So
Hot
I met
commodity.
with these gals, and they're all. I mean, they should be on my podcast. They were all like these wonderful. One's a nurse.
Wow.
One was a hard hat. She worked in
Yeah,
construction,
cool.
and the other one was a school teacher who became a superintendent, and just.
Wow.
It's just the most fabulous
I
girls,
love
and it was so
stories
much
like
fun
that.
to get together.
Yeah.
And now we have like this little bit of a thread going, a text thread.
Oh,
And-
good.
but I do think they look at me and they go, Ellie's a little bit strange. Now,
I
you
can
know,
relate
I'm
to
like,
that.
because I'm still like, they're all retired. They're taking care. Some of them are taking care of their husbands.
Right.
Now one of them has a wife instead, and I think that's fabulous.
Fine.
And it's just fascinating. I find it fascinating. But deep down inside, we were still kids. And it
Yeah.
was fabulous.
love
but I do
that,
think they look
Ellie.
at me and go, you do a what? A podcast?
Listen.
And you still run but I was
Same
always
here.
the odd one out.
Me too.
I was
Oh,
always the odd one out.
Sort of like the left to center, just a little bit.
But that's
Yeah.
what made us interesting,
got
don't you
it.
think?
I think it gives us magic.
I
and I
do
wouldn't
too.
trade it for anything.
But see, I never had a problem getting a job because I could.
right, I know.
I know, like you calling up.
Okay.
I
Here I am.
Yep, I sat in an office once.
And you've had some amazing jobs.
Yeah, I have. I know I was an executive. And isn't that funny? I'm like,
love it.
I'm kind of almost like, I go, yeah, I was an executive. Well, men would go, I was an executive.
Executive.
You know, like you say to a guy, your tie is spectacular. And they go, yes. And I paid $100 for it.
Okay.
A woman, you say, your dress is great. I got it on sale at TJ Maxx.
Right.
We still kind of knock
We
ourselves down.
all the time.
You
it
know,
happens.
and I love men. Don't get me wrong.
Me too.
But women just still are. So back to the friends. It was just wonderful. So I have these 3 new
Good.
friends. So I think friendships are kind of like roller coasters. You know, they go up and down a little
Right.
bit. And I've had my heart broken by
Yes.
some.
Yep.
And then I'm like, maybe I've broken some hearts. You know.
Uh-huh. I know.
And I have to say, I don't think there's a mean bone in my
I
body.
don't think so.
But I just think I get kind of flaky and I'm off doing something else.
I know. You know, I think people enter our lives at a time when we don't expect it, and they exit our lives when they need to exit.
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting.
And I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm okay. I just, sometimes it hurts when they move on. But for the most part, I just think, okay.
But now I'm like, so that last year,
Yes, it was hard.
was hard on me. I don't know if it was a number I turned or it was something, but now I am rocking and rolling. And
I
I'm like,
love it.
I love the fact that I am the anti-aging, you know?
Right.
Like, I got long hair. I can
I
still
know.
beat you in running and I can still do that.
Right.
But the bottom line is I want to have fun. Okay. This
Okay.
is one thing. I used to have this fabulous vet who's now selling dog food,
Oh.
Dr. Marty Goldstein. If you see him on
Oh,
TV, he's
I
making a
have.
fortune. He has fabulous, he's holistic, he has fabulous
Oh.
dog food. But now we've been going in Connecticut.
Yes.
Smith Ridge Veterinary Clinic. I'll give them a shout out because they
Good.
take such good care of my dogs. But the
Oh.
thing I want to say is every time you go,
Yes.
when Marty had the business, now it's been passed on to this wonderful group of doctors.
Okay.
And I still go there I learn more from my vets than I do from regular doctors, but that's another story. You go in, and if you have to go to the bathroom, you sit on the john, and across on the wall next to you across from you is a sign, and it's a little dog frolicking in the water, and it says, "You don't stop playing because you grow old.
Right.
You grow old because you stop playing."
Right.
And I don't ever want to stop
Me
playing
either.
So I guess we could go on and on and on and
Right,
on. I think we
right.
got a lot more stories to tell.
I think so too.
Uh,
Feel free to move on.
yeah,
whatever.
but I just want to have you back,
Okay.
and I don't want to stop playing.
Let's play.
So let's keep playing.
Oh, I love the
But I
idea.
want everyone listening to know that don't stop playing.
Right.
Get off the
Oh
phone
my
and don't stop
goodness,
playing.
there's a lot of life to live. Woo!
Oh my gosh. All right. So, and we're sober right here. We don't even drink. So
No.
here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. We're just excited from life.
Yeah.
We're high on life.
You bet.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody Fazzano.
Yes, and thank you, Ellie McGuire.
And I'm so excited that we're now on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube or
Ooh.
you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh,
Shaking the bushes.
shaking the bushes, baby.
Let's keep shaking the bushes, baby.
All right, I'm with you.
Hey, thanks for watching the Shaking the Bushes podcast. And if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and see that little bell there? You could click on that, and that will notify you for the next episode of Shaking the Bushes. Okay, I gotta go. And we never had this conversation.